This is the reading of Huawei's Winter. This article is an explanation of management essentials for 2001 by Mr. Ren Zhengfei at an Executives and Managers Conference. Have you ever considered what if our sales and profits slide, or worse, we go bankrupt? We at Huawei have known a long period of widely shared prosperity when too many were promoted to managers and executives. Maybe this is our disaster. Don't forget, Titanic began its maiden voyage amid loud cheers and applause. Now, I sense a similar situation may happen to us someday. I wonder if you have ever thought of a way to cope with such a bleak future. For most of us are blindly optimistic and complacent. If few of us have thought of this, winter for Huawei is near, right at the door. In order not to get caught unprepared, we should take some preventive measures. This is no alarmism, I assure you. When I was in Germany on a visit, I was touched to see how rapidly the country has recovered from World War II. When the war was just over, I was told the German workers were bonded as one and offered to lower their wages or salaries so as to speed up the national economic recovery and construction. True to their expectation, the German economy recovered and grew dramatically. If one day Huawei suffers a crisis, what shall we do? Will it work if we cut our salaries 50% and have to lead a low-budget life? Or can we save our company by laying off half of our staff? If either of these approaches works, the crisis is not a real one. For when the crisis is over, we can get the salary back to its former level, or when our sales grow, we can rehire those who have been laid off. But have you considered what if both fail to bail us out? Over the past 10 years, I have been thinking of our possible failure and chose to turn a blind eye to our success. I have never felt glorified by our success or proud of myself. Instead, I have developed a sense of crisis. Probably thanks to this sense of mine, we have stayed alive for the past 10 years. Now, in the face of this possible crisis, we have to work together and figure out how to survive it so that we can exist longer. The day will come when we cannot do anything to save the company. This is my conviction, for things have developed this way since the beginning of human history. So we'd better start to get prepared today. Much to my sadness, we at Huawei, from top management to the grassroots, remain unaware of this upcoming crisis. As a result, we may be caught dumbfounded when it arrives stealthily. I am wondering if this is because we are too numb to have any idea of crisis, or because we don't have enough self-awareness or have no self-awareness at all. If the crisis affects our company at every aspect, we can do nothing about it. What we can say is, you guys don't have to walk out, for we were going to close the company also. Please turn off the machines quickly to save us some electricity. Obviously, if now we can't work out the methods and measures to tide over the crisis, we may not be able to survive it. Over the past 3 years, we have been mainly concerned about the average efficiency per person at Huawei. Without the improvement of this efficiency, there will be no progress in our management. Therefore, the long-term, consistent achievements of this efficiency improvement is the most essential and important to our company. As a matter of fact, it is not merely a financial indicator of the average contribution per person. It also shows the growth of the average potential per person. It is no good for a company to be big or powerful for a short while. What matters is its ability to adapt, survive, and develop in a sustainable manner. I am interested in the article, Is there any room for improvement? According to the writer, Only by ongoing improvement can we have a good prospect. But I wonder how many of us are making improvement at their positions, and how many are figuring out ways to push for further improvement. For this reason, we set per capita efficiency metrics for all our managers' evaluation. If such metrics for a certain team or department deteriorate, we will definitely cut the chief's salary. If he can't accept this, I don't think he should stay with us anymore. A manager should step down if the average efficiency per person of his department does not improve in spite that he has not blundered at all. On the other hand, we favor a manager who has achieved a growth of this efficiency in his department, even though he has made mistakes due to his aggressiveness and commitment to his duties and lack of experience, except more on principal mistakes, of course. As long as he's ready to rectify the mistake he has made by executing a decision made collectively, we will give him a promotion. All our HR subdivisions are required to guard against the promotion of those who show responsibility. If a department sees no growth of its per capita efficiency continuously over a considerable period of time, its executives and those in charge of its HR subdivision should resign collectively. Since they selected the people, they must bear the blame. Though we are still safe, we should be crisis-minded enough to foresee any possible crisis. As you know, a great world-class company came near the verge of collapse unexpectedly last year. It just happened in no time. Fortunately, with its robust basic research capability and solid technology reserve, it can rise to its feet again. It may suffer a great deal from recession for the coming 2 years, but it will become a global powerhouse again. But what do we have at Huawei? We don't have such a solid foundation. If we did not promote good management practices, we would, after a real collapse, have nothing to sustain us, and would not be able to stand up again. At Huawei, we have been warning against the coming of a crisis. After this warning message has been issued over and over again, everyone thinks we are crying wolf and callously ignores it. But the crisis will surely show up. This year we will have the crisis problem widely discussed in order to identify the crisis at Huawei, at your division, at your department, at your section, and at your position in the workflow. Is there any room for further improvement? Can we further improve our per capita efficiency? If these are discussed and made clear, we may survive the crisis and stay in the arena longer. Every year we write some essential management points on how to improve our management efficiency. What counts, however, is whether these points can help us improve our work. If we can improve a little bit by following them, this indicates we're making progress. Balanced development means emphasizing improvement where we are weak. How can we survive the coming winter? Please think about it. If our per capita production grows 15% each year, it may be barely enough for you to maintain your current salary. As you know, the price of the electronic products goes down by 15% or more every year. This means the more we sell, the less profitable we are. If we don't work harder, we may fail to maintain our current salary level, not to mention have a raise. But we can depend on no end of overtime work, so we must improve our management effectiveness. And we must emphasize improvement where we are the most vulnerable. Therefore, all the chiefs of our departments, functions and workflows must focus on our weaknesses. We must stick to the policy of balanced development and lose no time in building our process-based and effective-oriented management system. As individuals, you must continuously improve your work and contribution to our growth so that the core competitiveness of the whole company will go up. Why do we have to overcome our weaknesses? At Huawei, we all emphasize R&D, marketing and sales, but we just ignore our goods preparation system, cashier system, order processing system, and many others. These neglected areas betray our weaknesses. If our R&D and marketing departments have done a good job, for example, but our delivery system has failed us, then all our previous efforts are in vain. For this reason, a unified evaluation system and a performance assessment system must be put in place for the whole company, so that our staff can move between different posts easily within the company and balanced development is possible. You may say, I'm damn good at R&D and innovation, but how is the value of your innovation delivered? I don't object to attaching importance to R&D and marketing, and I am emphasizing every link of Huawei is of equal importance. For example, a technical support engineer of the same level as his R&D counterpart may show better performance in handling a complicated situation. Therefore, if we don't recognize the importance of our after-sales service system, this system will never be made up of good personnel. It is well known that any organization composed of low performance will be a high-cost one. For example, a mediocre technical support engineer of ours flew to a certain place for repairing a system. He took several flights there and yet could not get it fixed. What generous contributions we made to the airline companies! How much cost could we have saved if we had fixed it for the first time, or if we had fixed it via remote guidance without showing up at the field? This is why we emphasize balanced development, not the development of a single area. Another example, we have made a wrong delivery, and the goods delivered must be returned from overseas. Can we get away without paying the transportation cost and loan interests? Obviously, we need a balanced evaluation system so that the whole company can grow in a balanced way. In recent years, we have developed a large number of products, but IBM and many other Western companies have made fun of us. Tell me what a waste this was. In fact, we have turned out many good products but failed to market them, and this is really a waste. If we overlook the building of our evaluation system, more waste of our resources will result. In other words, to overcome our weaknesses, we must build a balanced evaluation system that emphasizes the improvement of our core competitiveness. Result-based accountability essentially differs from a supervisor-based accountability. The former is open-ended, while the latter is close-ended. Why do we attach such importance to a process-based, effectiveness-oriented system? If you as a manager are in charge of some checkpoints and are still accustomed to asking your supervisor for instructions about everything, this is wrong. You don't have to do so for the things that have been well defined or become formalities along the process. You can quickly execute them accordingly and speed up the flow. An executor who drives ahead the workflow along the design process is responsible for the end results, and we call this result accountability, an open-ended mechanism. Otherwise, it is supervisor-based accountability, where the executor is responsible for his supervisor, and this is a closed-ended mechanism. We need to simplify those formalities that don't require any confirmation and cut the unnecessary checkpoints in our workflow. Else, how can we operate efficiently? Currently, many posts in our administration are generating rubbish, which in turn goes into the process of sorting and clearing. Alas, this creates job opportunities for some people. In the production of these complicated files, some complex processes have been created, and some unnecessary reports and files have been produced so as to maintain some administrative managers we don't need. As you know, those managers cannot create value for the company. So we must try to streamline our administrative organization as long as our supervision can be guaranteed. In principle, the secretary has the authority to handle routine management work, while the manager only has to handle exceptional events, as well as those complicated, important routine events. The more routines we have, the fewer managers we need, and the lower our operating costs will be. In addition, we need to reduce the staff size of our administrative organization, for it is over large. Under the same condition, the fewer administrative managers, the better, but there must be one at least, of course. Therefore, we insist on assigning some of our administrative managers to posts where they are productive. On the other hand, the performance of an administrative department must be assessed on the basis of evaluations by the business units it serves, and must be related to its salaries, bonuses, and organizational result. This is part of our customer-focused policy, for in-house customers are also customers. Our marketing administrative departments is unproductive. They ask our local representative offices for reports and statements every workday, creating a daily avalanche of papers and documents, but can get nothing done on their own. I propose every representative office should compile all the data into a table and put it in our database. Whenever our marketing administrative office needs the data, it can only access the database for it. From tomorrow on, the marketing department should organize its redundant managers into a database team so that all the data can only be obtained from this team instead of the representative office. You at the representative office have the right to assess the performance of our marketing administrative office. Be a bit harsh to them. You have to make them suffer somewhat, else they won't know the right thing to do to support and serve you. Our overhuge administrative body needs to be slimmed. This process of reform will affect the interest of many people and trigger off many conflicts of interest. For this reason, our managers and executives must serve as good role models. That is, somebody must come out strong and take the responsibility. Anyone who shuns responsibility is not qualified as a manager or executive. Surely, he can be an engineer, a position more suitable for him. All in all, in the work we do at our positions, we must have the guts to assume the responsibility and accelerate our workflow. Those who try to protect themselves in a worldly wise way must be removed from their posts. Worldly wisdom teaches them to try their best not to lose their current positions that are closely connected with the handsome compensations and benefits Huawei offered them. All those must be demoted who go out of their way to protect their own interest by passing the buck, for he is already a stumbling block in our reform process. If a manager has not made any improvement without committing any mistake in the past year, I wonder if we should demote him immediately effective. As the per capita efficiency in his team or department has not improved, how can we still hold his position as a manager? He may argue he has not done anything wrong. Can a person be a manager because he has done nothing wrong? Someone has not made any mistake probably because he has done nothing at his position. Someone else might have made mistakes, but if the per capita efficiency in his team or department has improved significantly, he's the right candidate for promotion.